Hey, what is up, guys? And welcome back to another Magic the Gathering online league. We're back once again with Karn Eldrazi Ramp on the play for game 1 with a few adjustments. Back on Malevolent Rumble and up 1 Talisman of Curiosity. Started to think a little bit about Malevolent Rumble and its place in the deck. I wasn't initially sold on Fanatic of Ronus yesterday. I think it's interesting. I think it's a possibility, though I'm not sure that it's fantastic. With that in mind, I started thinking to myself, well, not every card is going to be good in the opening hand, because that's really where our data-based deck building comes from, is opening hand data. What is resulting in a win from our opening hand and what is not, right? And so Malevolent Rumble was demonstrating that it was not a good option in the opening hand. However, but it doesn't mean that it's necessarily a bad card. Much in the same way that your finisher might not be a good card in your opening hand. Let's say, I don't know, Grizzlebrand, if you're trying to Neoform, because obviously you don't want Grizzlebrand in hand when you want to Neoform into it off of Allosaurus Rider. So I started giving some thought to that concept when, okay, well, if that's the case, then it's a possibility that maybe we're just looking at this wrong, and we shouldn't be cutting Malevolent Rumble, but maybe reducing its number, making it so that it's going to be in the opening hand less often by comparison. And so I gave that some thought and went, okay, well, what other cards are in the same slot that are performing well? And I kind of looked at Talisman of Curiosity and went, okay, Talisman of Curiosity has a positive relationship with open hand data and winning the game. Let's just up the number of Talisman of Curiosity and put down the number of Malevolent Rumbles so we see it in our opening hand less often. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Thinking about that concept a bit more. Same thing with Emrakul. It might just mean that we kind of we're using the data to instead inform our deck building decisions, instead using it to inform our mulligan decisions. So just something to think about. This is a pretty solid hand. I'm thinking of whether or not I want to go forest or not. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I do want to go forest, and the reason being is if opponent does go for a lab turn 2 into Karn, I would want to be able to cast this Mycospawn. Alright, we'll pass and hold. But it does look like the mirror match. So if they go Soul Land, okay, I think we played around the Karn. All is dust. Interesting, all is dust. Do they play Karn is the question. There's Rumble. Double Dismember. So it kind of looks like mono green, but maybe splash red. Choose the Devourer. So, I mean, I'm going to be able to eat the lab. They'll pitch back the All is Dust, and then I could theoretically just go for a Ghost Quarter, get rid of Stomping Ground. 3. Yeah, that's fine. We have an extra land for that exact reason. So, yeah, this is actually A-okay by me. I'm going to be able to set you back from 4 down to 1. I feel like they should have made a spawn. Oh, well, okay. So, 2, 4, 5, 6. So, I'll just get rid of the Ugin Lab. Doesn't matter which one I exile. I don't really think so. Let's get rid of the lab. Next turn, we'll be able to have 7 if you want, but we're just going to swing Mycospawn anyways. We'll go Ghost Quarter. Right now they can't Kozilek's command, so Ghost Quartering after their draw step is probably correct, because they could draw into their final basic. So let's do that. And draw. then Ghost Quarter. Because normally you'd want a Ghost Quarter on our turn because we're concerned about a Kozilek's command, but since they don't have colorless mana, that's not an issue. So I guess it did matter which one we exiled. Okay, command X1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 types in yard, 6 types in yard. 7, 8, 9, 10. We might want a Bajuka Bog next turn. So I'm going to... let's first attack, see if they want to block. Doubtful, but you never know. Really? That's suspect. Why would you block there when you're already so far down on resources? I see all the time that this is a resource war. And yeah, I think we just go Bajuka Bog here. That way it cuts them off of Emrakul, just play Stomping Grounds tapped. And pass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe just go Sanctum and then Null Drift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, hell, I could have went Null Drifter, Evoke, Draw 2, Search, and then found another Soin Mycospawn. So, solid win against Eldrazi Ramp. Let's go to sideboard. Bringing Consign to memory. We didn't see Thought Knot, so we don't need to bring in Dismember. But yeah, so I'm thinking just either Malevolent Rumble, bringing it down to 3, or potentially even 2. If I were to bring down Malevolent Rumble again, right now we're running like... I look at Rumble in the same way I think I look at Warping Whale, funny enough. It basically is a pseudo-talisman, and I used to kind of think of it in that same way in Tron, or at least Warping Whale in Tron. I mean, I could maybe even be convinced to play a copy of Warping Whale, as strange as that sounds, but I think if I were to cut another Rumble, maybe we just go up like a Writhing Chrysalis. But yeah... So I'm thinking that the answer to the question of, like, how do we adjust the talisman slot may not be to go towards Fanatic of Ronus. I think Fanatic of Ronus might have a place. I think it might have a place in, let's say, an Airghast build, where Writhing Chrysalis and Soin Mycospawn have 8 copies, and no Karn the Great Curator. Because then you can do some really cool shenanigans with, like, Writhing Chrysalis rather than Null Drifter. So I'm thinking maybe that's where we go with Fanatic Aronis, but maybe not in Karn Eldrazi Ramp. Again, the Eldrazi Ramp variants have just such small little tweaks to them, but it does matter. So I think maybe Rumble is right for Karn. I will keep this. I mean, there's a turn 2 Karn. Keep. And pass. And so, like, we know, for example, Emrakul is not a good card to have in the opening hand. And the question then becomes, like, why is that? And the answer is, don't really know. It could simply be... You want to go blue or red here? I think we want to go blue just in case. We have another Sprawl. I mean, really speaking, we're going to be trying to go KGC on too. But, yeah, like, we don't really know why really cycling it. I mean, that must mean they're desperate for something. The question is what? Potentially the lab, or just have a mana value spell to get it down to 4. Do you have Karn? No, you have a K command X2. Interesting. I mean, I could... So if they have a K command X2, right now they lack a green source. We could theoretically go Sowing Mycospawn and just go Ghost Court, they'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe one short. But I mean, I feel like if that's the case, they're more likely than not just going to get a Sowing Mike spawn anyways, whereas Karn can kind of bog up the board. Yeah, so we'll just pitch the Emrakul, cast KGC, minus KGC, go Liquid Metal Coating. Right now Karn's not threatened. We'll pass. If you have the... They don't have the command. Well, that's huge, which means they don't have the Myco spawn either. And if they do, it's not kicked. I mean, even a Ghost Quarter won't set us back that far. Myco spawn, not kicked. So if you Ghost Quarter, let's say the lab or the forest, that would be fine. A mountain. Weird. Why a mountain? Why? Wait. Why a basic mountain? I'm confused. Fascinating. Okay. Well, I'm going to start with Utopia Sprawl for red. And then I'm going to play a Sowing Myco spawn. I'll grab a temple. Could grab a Ghost Quarter, but I think temple's correct here. Play Liquid Metal Coating. Activate coding on... I'm going to go with the Ugin Lab of World Breaker. I think that's more achievable in the immediate. And Ugin Lab down. And passed. I guess maybe I'm just a bit concerned about like an Aragast. And they could be trying to go Aragast. They need double red. Writhing Chrysalis. Okay, maybe just trying to set up for the Chris. But this Sire's 7 Death is just going to stop them in their tracks. Interesting. Dismember. So dismember the Sowing Myco spawn, hit Karn down to 1 loyalty, but that's fine. Karn's still on board and we'll still be able to do damage next turn. And draw. So I'm going to start off with target lab. Because then they're going to be off of... They only have one colorless source. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 8 down to 7. Cast Sire's 7 Deaths, and yeah, I don't think they can really play around that all too well. Like, yeah, Karn will die, but I'm not exactly too perturbed about this with the current board state. They're so far behind. It's going to be difficult for them to recover. Another option was, like, play the Talisman, take up Karn. Why would they not attack? Weird. I'll go Liquid Metal Coating on Forest. Take up Karn. Let's go to combat. You'll need to block with one more friend. Sire's 7 Deaths does have 7 keywords, and one of them is Menace. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can hold back the Emrakul. I mean, this game is very much over. Trigger, no targets. And plus. Bog, 3 types. 4, 5, 6, 7 at most. So no reason to play the bog right now. We'll just pass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We do have the 13 regardless. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh no, actually, we're short 1 on the Emrakul. So I guess if I would have played the bog, then we would have been able to... Okay, so now you attack. Interesting. I mean, it's going to add a type to Yard. So we're guaranteed the Emrakul. Then put a pause on end step. Return Emrakul to hand. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'll add 3. And Pwn scoops it up. Yeah, I mean, this game was over far earlier than now. I think this ended pretty much turn 2 once we were able to resolve Karn onto an open field. Karn is a very good card. All right, solid match. We'll be back for match 2. All right, and we're back for match 2 on the draw for game 1. I will keep, even though we don't have a green source, would like one. I will pass. We'll probably insulate the Sire 7 deaths here. Temple into command. Preordain. Okay. 2 top, 0 bottom. Well, that's interesting. I'm going to imprint Emrakul here. And pass. And hold, just in case it's relevant. Bloodstainmire, fetch. Mountain. Quarry Steelcutter. So looking like Prowess at a glance. We'll pass in full. Even if they do trigger Quarry Steel with a bobble, we're not going to exile it this turn. You want to set up for Mycospawn or Sirus 7 deaths. Trigger, draw, land is good. Because what this means I can do now is just set up for either Mycospawn or a Sire. I think getting Sire down quick is probably the right move. Because I'm not sure how they really deal with Sire 7 deaths. EI. Wooded Foothills. Yep, makes sense. Fetch. Steam Vent Shock. Preordain. Triggers Quarry Steel. Yeah, this is a good card, I'll tell you what. And go to combat. So we'll ramp and exile the X3. And pass. I'll take the 2. And draw. A second Sire 7 deaths. Don't mind if I do. Fetch. Forest. Sire 7 deaths, and like I said, I don't really see them having a great way of dealing with Sire here. Like, yeah, we could have gone Soin Mycospawn and kicked the land, but I think Sire is a bit more of an important play here. Next turn, we can always Soin Mycospawn and just ramp into the next Sire 7 deaths, which I think is equally as important. EI. Lightning Bolt. Really? I mean, I'll block the Monk. I mean, I guess you could bolt your own... No, I guess no, you can't even bolt your own monk because of prowess, right? So what'd the play here be? I guess Unholy Heat into bolt? Bolt, target me. Okay. Down to 12. Mutagenic growth is not enough. You need to pump it one more time, right? And bolt. So I guess maybe I should have blocked the smaller one. Jesus. I was not expecting that. Trigger. Well, this is a bit awkward now, ain't it? Did not consider that as a potential option. So I think I'll go Forest into Rumble. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At the same time, they could interact with a spawn, so it might just be safer to go Temple instead. Either that or Forest into Utopia Sprawl for red, which is also an option in case we run into a K return, I suppose. Huh. I mean, Temple just guarantees it. I just need to survive another turn now. Yeah, I just did not even consider them pumping it that much. So I probably should have blocked the smaller one. Should have played around the potential mutagenic growth. That was kind of insane. Eldrazi Temple. Yeah, I think we just go Eldrazi Temple here. And pass. And pass. That was kind of insane. So Spear. DRC. They might actually equip the Quarry Steel to DRC. They didn't. Ugh, I hate this. Am I just dead? That's the question of the day. Bolt. Down to 8. Right now I'm taking 7. So if they have one more, they win. Violent Urge. I mean, I don't think there was anything I could do then. I think the only thing I could have done differently was play around the mutagenic growth. So, having perfect knowledge, I made a misplay. I should have blocked the smaller creature unintuitively because there's no way they could grow it past 7 without having double mutagenic growth, right? So I think that is what I can take away from there, is that we should in the future play around mutagenic growth. Yeah. Okay. So we have a bit more of an idea of how to play against Prowess. And this is what we talk about all the time, right? I feel like my strength shows when I understand the meta the most and I understand my opponent's deck. And in this instance, I didn't understand it as much as I probably should have. And for that reason, I didn't play around the potential play, just thinking to myself, well, there's no way they can grow it beyond 7 power, right? Wrong, because of mutagenic growth. So that's good to know. We mulligan this because as good as like return, command, dismember are, at the same time we could find a red source, we can find a color source. Yeah, we'll keep it. We're on the play, so it's a bit more forgiving. Forest, pass. We'll set up for the Rumble. I mean, drawn into a Utopia Sprawl, drawn into a Talisman, all good options. Preordain on turn 1, that's fine by me. Means no DRC or Ragavan to worry about. Draw. Okay, Emrakul's interesting to me, because this Malevolent Rumble will help. Go Temple, and pass, and hold. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 types in yard. Slick Shot Show Off. This is fine, because its toughness doesn't grow, only its power. So short of them going for mutagenic growth, multiple mutagenic growth, we should be fine. And I guess no reason to belabor the point. The show-off needs to die. Again, 5 types in yard. There's KGC. We have the Kozilek's command for next turn. And we can grow by 2 up to 6 to 11. So we'll still be short on Emrakul. Show-off has entered exile. Interesting. I'm a little bit worried about a consigned to memory here with that fetch land, I'm not gonna lie. Really? Sprawl is nice because we would be able to return, but I think we have 2, 4, 6, 11. If we can find a soul land, we get to Emrakul. No soul land. Talisman's nice though. It does get us our return. Again, no soul land, but we can cast Adrift. Because 2, 4, no, we're actually short, aren't we? Yeah. Because 2, 4, 6. We could play KGC. What would be the benefit of KGC here? We'd only have 1 mana. So I think instead playing Talisman's correct. That way we can K return. There's no consign in hand, that's good to know. There's Flick Shot. There's EI. So they've already hit their second for turn. Do we want to go to damage is the question. Lightning Bolt, target me. Play the K return. That's what I was afraid of. Oh, Jesus. And I mean, I can't do anything about that. Okay. Well, sometimes we win some, sometimes we lose some. I mean, maybe we could have held the K return. Maybe that was the better play. Or maybe not even the K return. Maybe we should have held the K command, right? Because we held the K command, we would have been able to exile it. Irregardless. Maybe that was the play. Just kind of sit on the K command. Okay. Yeah, I think it's I think it's a bit early to say that this is an unfavored matchup. I think there are definitely some key cards that help determine the outcome. I think K command I might just have to use a bit more conservatively in this matchup. And so just play a little bit differently. So I think I'm just more or less learning still on how to face this off. But that said, we'll be back for match 3. Alright, and we're back for match 3 on the draw for game 1. Hand is meh. It's not bad, not good, just okay. I'll keep it though. It allows us to null drift on 3 if we really want. Underground Mortuary's interest. What the what? I was gonna say could be mono green ramp, but what? Huh? I'm concerned. Cavernous Souls, name Eldrazi, and pass. Fascinating. What in the fresh hell am I playing against? Like, it could be black burn, but why the green? Huh. I feel like I remember a Sorin. Okay. Interesting. Well, now I'm worried about that flipping. If we get a turn, we might be able to K-command it. Definitely a slow start on our end. Yeah, had some decent draws, but just couldn't find them. Then they extort. Oh. And then they... I end up bumping the night. Wait, they don't flip then, do they? Oh, you do, because they gain 3 life? You did? Wait, am I crazy? Oh, because lifelink. Yes, I understand. I'm sitting here going, you did? Right, it has lifelink. That would make sense. Okay, interesting. We have the K command X2 now. 3. Create a food. Why tap before? Necro. This is a strange Necro build. Okay. I might die? Question mark? 10 cards in hand. Do you still play the Soul... I imagine you still play the Soul Spikes. Soul Spike 1. You could extort. You do not. Down to 7. Fetch. Why are you fetching now? Bolt. Oh, bolt. I meant shock. So if you want to cast a shock instead, that would be good. I would prefer to take 2 damage rather than 3. Fascinating. I mean, if you have the Soul Spike, you have the Soul Spike at this point. Interesting. Well, there's temp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Ugh, really? We're gonna be short on the Emrakul. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I wonder if we instead need to find like an Ugin to get rid of the Necro. I mean, not even, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it need to be a World Breaker. Unless we draw into a Rumble. Another Emrakul. Draw. Well, that's unfortunate. I think I die then. Okay, let's try this. Let's not give up hope just yet then. We can sack the Sanctum, which then allows us to add another type to Yard. Draw 2. Jesus. I mean, I don't think it matters then, does it? Because they can just gain 3 life and kill me. I mean, I'm doubtful I survive here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 7, 8. Damn. Yeah, that's unfortunate. No. For red. And pass. I mean, I'm pretty sure I just die here. If I don't, then we might be able to win. But I'm pretty sure I'm dead. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I'm dead. Okay. Yep. Interesting. Necrodominance. Plus. Do I even have a sideboard guide for Necro? It's been a hot minute since I've even seen this deck. No, it's nowhere near here, I'll tell you that. I mean, Stonebrain's good, Jailer, no. Consign is interesting because it is a triggered ability. The return's not doing great, though Dismember can kill Sorin. Chalice explosives are kind of meh. So yeah, I do wonder if maybe we just bring in Consign? Maybe bring in Dismember as well? And then drop the Gemstone and the Ghost Court? Does Bajuka Bog have any relevance? Not really, right? So we drop the Bog. They could be on Dothy, so Dismember also still has value. Yeah, I think this is right. Interesting. Okay. On the play for game 2, I'll keep Reveals Chancellor. Play Wooded Foothills and pass. Put a pause on end step. Vine Lasher. Interesting. So I'd like a soul land then so we can K command for 1. Go to bottom or put a Grave Emrakul. So we could Rumble, we could instead Talisman. Witherbloom command can kill either or is the only problem, right? Let's go Sanctum and Rumble. And we could go Karn. The Windswept Heath might be the better option. We'll go Karn, and then pass, and pass. So if they have Witherbloom, they can stop this command from exiling the Vine Lasher unless we draw into a colorless source. No blocks. Witherbloom. Yep. That's what I was afraid of. Draw. Yeesh. Alright, well in that case. And pass. Vine Lash. At least they don't have Necro this turn, for what it's worth. 2 for Sorin. It's not great either. Now comes the question, do we get rid of Sorin or the Vine Lasher? Down to 9. Lab. Okay. Tuck the Null Drift. So I can go Kozilek's command X equals 2. Exile Sorin. I can otherwise go Soin Mega Spawn, kick a land. If they had an untapped land, they would have played it, right? So I think we go kick Soin Myco Spawn instead. And get rid of a black-green source. The thought here being, if they had the untapped land, then they would have used it to play the Necro. But since they didn't, then we should be able to make use of that and buy ourselves a turn at least. Soul Spike. We'll flip the Sorin, and which means they win. Well, okay. So they must have drawn into the Soul Spike, right? Because they could have done that last turn, but didn't. Well, I mean... yeah, that was unexpected. So this feels like a Necro deck with more of a mid-range game plan. It's not as just all in on Necro, which is interesting to me. Maybe that's the direction Necro goes. Yeah, because they could have done that last turn, right? They could have flipped the Sorin immediately. Oh, but they couldn't have extorted. But they didn't need to extort. So yeah, no. We were just dead regardless. No, I think it would have put us to 1, wouldn't it? But they still would have been able to flip Sorin. So yeah, I feel like it could have done that last turn, but chose not to. So it's either in hand sitting there, or they drew into it. Okay, interesting. Well, sometimes win some, sometimes lose some. Only back 4, match 4. We're back 4, match 4, on the play for game 1. We can keep this. This is looking like a turn 3 Karn. We draw into another lab. Then we can play Karn on 2. So lab, imprint, pass, and pass. Moment here where Rumble being a talisman would have been better. And so maybe adding another talisman, maybe another talisman of impulse for 6 talismans and 2 rumbles might be right. Interesting thoughts. So this looks like Tron. Ooh, hold on. Everlong Chalice is interesting. That is unexpected. Emrakul's okay with Rumble. Go Forest. I mean, we just go for, I suppose, the fetch land. We have 4. 2 types in yard. Next turn we play Karn. Shock Stomping Ground, Karn. I was about to say, cracking the map now is correct. So short of me getting a soul land here. Nope. So we'll just shock. Karn the Great Creator, minus KGC for a liquid metal coating, and pass. Two, three, four, five. And I guess I could Windswept Teeth next turn. Glaring Flesh Rake into their own KGC. This does become complicated now in a way I did not prefer. Because now they can minus. I imagine they have access as Cityscape Leveler the problem. Because we can minus for Bridge. But I can only play so much in hand right now. And the Rumble was kind of rough. If we had more types, we may have been able to go into Emrakul and do something, but it's not the case. We're not dead, which is good, but we're not in a good position either. I have no reason not to minus here. I think our best grab is just Bridge. Yep, minus. If they have Leveler, I think they go for Leveler. Either that or Mystic Forge, which is also an option. Disruptor Flute. Okay, if you name Karn Flute, I'm okay with this. Chalice Trigger. And then Flute named Karn. Weird. Why would you name liquid metal coating? Jesus. These draws have been god awful. Very weird. So this now costs 5 mana, right? Yeah. So, like, we could minus for Bridge. I wonder if I should go Null Drift or Evoke. I'm gonna Null Drift or Evoke here. Breeding Pool Shock. Evoke with Null Drift. Well, there's a Soul Land. This adds a type to Yard. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We'd still be short, though, is the problem, right? And I could just plus Karn on Chalice and then pass. I'm not sure that's good enough, though, is the problem. Alternatively, I could just set up a blocker with a Soulish Jailer. Like, Bridge right now is not doing anything. Let's plus on Chalice. Push us up to 4 loyalty and then pass. And pass. Yeah, of all the mana in the world. Yeah, if we had just had Karn a turn sooner. There's the Leveler like I thought, so they will hit Karn. was what I was thinking. Karn down. 4 types in yard. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're 1 short of the Emrakul. Down to 7. And draw. Bob will target me, that's fine. What's the best thing we could draw into right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Probably a World Breaker, honestly. Otherwise a K command, maybe? Not a Talisman, I'll tell you what. I mean, we're dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We'd still be 1 short if we commercial district into a K command, right? Lab to grave. And we'll concede. Alright. Well, that was unfortunate. Well, I'll be right back. Just forgot that I need to grab something, so I'll be back in just 1 moment. Alright, I'm back, but I did not find what I was searching for, and that is oddly disconcerting. I'm going to sidebar real quick, and then I'm going to pause the recording. Let's see, we can cut Gemstone, we can cut Bog, and we're good. Alright, be back in just a few short moments. Alright, and we're back, just with enough time. Glad that I was able to find that. I'm currently the hall director on call for this week, and I was like, wait a second, where's the phone? Alright, on the play for game 2. This is a turn 2 Karn, so I think this is keepable. Reveals Devourer. Wooded Foothill, fetch. For a forest. Sprawl for blue, and pass. Yeah, so unless they have a soul land start, I think we're just in a good position to win. Let's see what you got, opponent. Yeah, so this looks like a win on turn 2 to me. Oh, no map either, so they must have natural Tron. Moving Lab, Imprint, KGC. Minus KGC for liquid metal coating, and pass. And pass. I mean, what you got, opponent? I'm gonna start just stripping your lands every single turn. I guess you could go like Glaring Flesh Rake, and that would definitely help, but I'm not sure that will be enough. I feel like if you had the Glaring Flesh Rake line, you might end up going with Temple or a Soul Land first. A Swamp, okay. Another Talisman. So we can go Misty Rain, fetch. Another forest. Utopia Sprawl for... Let's go red on this one. We're just gonna dump our hand pretty much. You have all the ramp in the world, opponent. And we'll get rid of the power plant. The next turn I'll have 2, 4, 6, or 1 short on the breaker. But if we do draw into a land, we'll be able to World Breaker, strip 2 lands. I can pretty much play almost everything in my deck too, short of Emrakul. Draw. Another Talisman. Liquid Melodic, target tower. Tick up. Play. I want to hold up the blue. We're playing the Talisman, so holding the blue source is nonsensical. And then pause on end step. And Bone Scoops. Yep. Alright, let's go to game 3. Bring back in the Gemstone. And cut an Emrakul. And run it back. I guess actually we can, oh, we already cut the Bog, right? I was about to say, we could cut Bog. Bog is not doing much in this matchup since they're not playing Emrakul themselves. But they definitely have Graveyard Hate, so cutting our Emrakul does work. I'll keep it. I'd love to see another Soul Land or another land in general off the top. Forest would be good because then we could ramp into Sprawl, then K Command, Temple passing, draw, Dismember. Hold up Dismember for Glaring Flesh Rake or for Thought Knot. Yeah, 3 Sprawl is kind of rough, I will admit. Flesh Rake. And then we'll Dismember it now. Alright. Let's see if we can draw into a land. A Soul Land would be great. A Forest would be acceptable. Perfect. For blue. The question then becomes whether or not we want to exile the spawn and just go X2 exile spawn or hold up for a scry draw. Because right now they have access to 4 mana, 5 with Eldrazi. If they have a forest, no, they have a swamp, so they're not playing sowing Myco spawns. I'm not as worried about that. In that case, I think we just pass. If they Thought Not, then also we cast the command. If they have Karn, all they need is 1 land in order to get there. Yeah. Plays temples. They would have had the 4 regardless. There's map. So they don't have any Eldrazi spells, it looks like. Go to end step. K command. They could have a K command here, but then why play the map? No, it's unlikely they have a K command. Let's go Kozak's command. Jeez. Bottom, draw. There's Karn. Perfect. And a Null Drift. There's a thought to playing Null Drifter here, honestly. It's mana neutral. No reason not to. For red this time. KGC. 2/4 minus KGC. Yes. We'll go liquid metal coating. I mean, I'm tempted to sack both spawns. That way we can sprawl here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. 1, 2. And then sprawl for green. And then let's go to your upkeep. I said if you had the K command, you wouldn't have played the map. Liquid metal on the lab and pass. Return Devourer is interesting. Okay. Not sure I would have done that this turn. Another lab? Okay, maybe that's why, because you have the second lab. Ugin. Interesting. So you kept the Devourer, so it looks like you're just playing Devourer then? At least that's their game plan. I mean, I'm fine taking the Ugin. You'll grab a Sprawl, though, for what it's worth. Chooses the one with blue, I think. Yes. I mean, you could just go Bridge here. And draw. Sowing Myco Spawn, so we can just really go to town then. So I will exile the lab. We could grab Ghost Quarter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we just go with a Temple for the Null Drift next turn. Like, I could go Ghost Quarter, but I don't think that's necessary right now. Not with the board state as it is. And then pass. And pass. I guess we could have knocked them down to 2. Then we wouldn't have been able to play the Null Drifter. We'll Snap Block. Wait, why are you going after me? You should be attacking Karn. I'm still gonna... Do I still block? I think I still block in case of a Glaring Flesh Rake. If we're at too low of a life total, we're in trouble. Okay. They adjusted. They have 4s. This could be a Thought-Knot Seer. No Thought-Knot Seer, though. Draw. Let's start with a Liquid Metal Coating. See if they tap it for 2. They do not. So they don't have a K command. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Short on casting K command to exile the Devourer. So we're just going to Null Drift, draw 2. There's Ugin. We'll play a Wooded Foothill and pass. And put a pause on end step. Again, we'll just snap block. No reason for me not to. There's the mine. That is fine. Glaring Flesh Rake. Just Chalice on one. Yeah, that's fine. Fetch with Wooded Foothills. That adds a 4th type to yard. Commercial District trigger. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we find a soul land actually with command. Actually, we can just go 13 Karn for Tormod's Crypt. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Tick down, but I think I don't want to tick down. Let's put it in the grave. And draw. Do you have anything in exile? Just a lab. Consign to memory, that's good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold up blue. So let's go liquid metal coating on Urzamine. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, okay. Minus KGC. I mean, alternatively, we just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, let's do this. Ramp, exile. And done. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ugin, done. Resolve, plus. There's the temple. We'll pass. So next turn we have Emrakul. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this game is over. Opponent scoops. Good stuff. All right, we'll be back for match 5. All right, and we're back for match 5 on the play for game 1. Gonna mulligan this hand. I will keep this one, however, and we pitch what, the lab? So we want to go turn 1 forest, Utopia Sprawl. We could go temple into Myco Spawn. That is an option. Otherwise, we could just go into Talisman. I think we still pitch the Ugin Lab. Yeah, so we'll pitch the Ugin Lab, and done. Sprawl for red. Force. Okay, glad we kept the Talisman then. So it looks like it might be Murktide. They'll take the Myco Spawn though. There's a lot of resources used by them, so I'm not too concerned about that. And pass. So we have 6 mana next turn, so drawing into a Myco Spawn, a Writhing Chrysalis. We have 4 mana for Karn. So we have some good hits. Also, Ozilek's command, a green splash. Interesting. What for? Thought Scour. Oh, is this the Neoform version on Earth? So those look like Oculus. Ugin. 4. We're short on Ugin, unfortunately. Would love to see a 7 mana value spell next turn. So not Murktide, but Oculus. And it might be the Neoform version with that green splash. Interesting. They're one short for Oculus, right? No, I guess, yeah, I guess Bitch Frog, Oculus. Right. The discard outlet, that is Froge. So what do we love to see here? Probably a Sire 7 Deaths? I guess spawn's okay. Name Eldrazi. I mean, getting rid of double blue is good. Getting rid of green, I think, might be worth it, just because of that Neoform. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could go Temple 6. Otherwise, I guess we could go Fetch Land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for Temple. I mean, a land gets us into Ugin to exile the Oculus or the Frog, right? We can set that up better with the Commercial District. So I think we do maybe just go Commercial District. Cut out the middleman. Yeah. Sprawl to Yard. And pass. And pass. Of course, we could also have Lab to insulate the Ugin from a Thoughtseize, which was another thought I had, but not sure. I mean, we snap block the Frog, unless they pitch enough to get above, which they do. So we'll take 9, down to 10. I mean, if they're holding up a counterspell, we're in a little bit of trouble. Trigger. And draw. KGC. Shoot. This might not be enough. Because I can KGC, I can EE for 0, but they have me dead on board because they pitch the Frog. And I pitch the Frog. The only other option would be go Karn to Tormod's Crypt. Block the Frog, take 9 down to 1, and we're in Bowmaster's range. Well, let's first start with KGC, right? See if this even resolves. Fetch. Forest, or not Forest, Island. They have the counterspell. Sink in the Stupor. Interesting. They can still float the Frog. We take 9, 11. You have it. Yes, we'll concede. Okay. So loss for game 1. Yeah, if we had just a land even, exiling the Oculus would have been enough. Close, but no cigar. So let's remember K command in, cut the gemstone, cut the ghost quarter, cut the Karn, and send it back. And I'm convinced that green source is for Neoform, which is interesting to me. Yeah, one of those awkward moments where if like Ugin was any other 7-mana value spell in Eldrazi, we would have been able to cast it. Whether it be a World Breaker, Sire, Null Drifter, etc., right? I guess Singing Stupor wouldn't have made that matter, so. On the play for game 2. This one's a bit awkward because we have no castable short of Dismember. Also, we draw into something. It's not bad. What makes this hand better? I mean, a green source with the Sowing Mycospawn. I think we mulligan, though. This is better. I'll keep, and I think I pitch the World Breaker or the no. I think of the World Breaker, yeah. So this way we go Wooded Foothills, fetch 4, Sprawl for red. That way if they play a Harbinger, we don't have to worry. We'll have access to red and blue sources. And then pass. Next turn we can Null Drifter evoke. Misty Rain. And pass, draw. Dismember, solid. Cavernous Souls, name Eldrazi. So casting this now is good because we get underneath a Bowmaster. The Bowmaster doesn't see as much play in Oculus as it does Murktide. Worst case scenario here is a consigned memory, but them consigning a Null Drifter trigger is not the end of the world. Okay, we'll pass. And pass. So I'd like a land off top for the Sowing Mycospawn. That would be the ideal scenario here. That way you can go into a soul land and ideally get the Sire on board. Okay. So cast. We can guarantee the body on board. I would have liked to have held up a source for Dismember, though. So we get the body on board. We can go Temple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, we want to go to Sire, so I think Temple's correct. And then hold. Because, yeah, if we get Sire on board, it's pretty hard for them to deal with. Fetch. Trigger. I do have Bowmasters, that's good to know. We'll just hold for Dismember. Watergrave Shock. Harbinger? Looking like a Murktide. Alright, put a pause on end step. It is a 4/4, so I think... Do we just Dismember this? Yeah, I think we do. Don't exactly want it growing. Chrysalis is nice. Another reach blocker. And attack. So it'll be down to 11. So if we get one more attack in, they won't be able to interact with the Sire 7 deaths. Bargain. That's fine. I mean, I'm not sure if that will really help you. An island. Another Mycospawn. We'll go to combat. Down to 1. Let's see here. Green. 5. Kick. I'll get rid of a green source. Maybe they're playing green just for the bargain? That's a possibility. Ingeling Thought. Alright, that's fine. Body's on board. And, I mean, they can't interact with Sire. They need 2 blockers with toughness of 7. And we also have the 2 -1s. Yeah, that was a guaranteed win. Short of a Sweeper, which I don't think they play, you're in a good spot. We'll cut the second Karn and run it back. Alright, looks like I'm getting a call, so I'll be back in just 1 second. Alright, I am back. That Thoughtseize was painful, opponent. Not thrilled by that. I mean, we could just take out the frog here, right? Honestly, right now be force checking, but for force checking, I'm not too concerned. So, okay, let's start here. We're going to start with Malevolent Rumble, see if that gets countered. So, Malevolent Rumble. There's the Spell Snare. We can play the Ugin Lab. Not thrilled by the prospect of us not imprinting anything, but we are able to exile or destroy the frog unless they have force, which they don't. I mean, we're in an open board state. It's not great, but also not horrible. Harbinger makes it a bit worse. A land, though, would get us to a Myco spawn. Ugh. Yeah, I really need that Rumble to resolve, didn't I? Either that or just drawn to a 7-mana value spell so we could have K-commanded. But now we're in a bit of an awkward position. Oh no, that's an Oculus. Yeah, so now we're in a dangerous spot. If they had nothing else than just the Harbinger, I wouldn't be all too worried. But now I'm concerned. Forest does get us to a Myco spawn for what it's worth. Do you have a consign? No consign. So, I mean, we can go Temple and pass. We can block the Harbinger, we can block the Manifest Creature, but the Oculus will kill us very shortly. I mean, they could... Yeah. What do I else here? You need to deal with the frog. They have lethal on board. I mean, a talisman into a return would be good. Sprawl. Sprawl will work. Red. I mean, there's no reason for me not to cast this now, right? Okay. I mean, I have a K command X equals 1. I can't do anything about the current board state. I don't think they have any hasters, but a bowmaster would kill me regardless. I mean, I think attacking might be correct. And then just hold the K command. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. We go down to 1. Do you have a Harbinger? Jesus. Okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to scry draw. Cavernous Souls does not cut it, so bottom draw. Temple doesn't... Actually, Temple does help. So that might be enough. Trigger. Yeah, that one spawn might just save us. Sprawl's mana neutral. So go Sprawl. For red. And then Talisman. And then do we ramp scry draw? Oh no, we probably don't need to ramp necessarily. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can play anything we can draw into. The biggest thing is we need to get rid of this abhorrent Oculus. Oh, but I need a second blocker. So I need to ramp no matter what. Yeah, I need to ramp Exile. Alright. Am I worried about a Spell Pierce? Can I even be concerned about a Spell Pierce? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. No. So I need to send it. Okay, living on a hope and a prayer here, friends. Do I attack is the next question. The answer is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, we can play anything in our deck. We do need to apply pressure, but no, I think we hold. Hold, once again, Bowmaster kills us. They won't attack. Draw. Jukabog. No reason to play that, so we'll just pass. Oh god. I desperately need to find like an Ugin, for example. Sarah's 7 deaths as well would be good. Emrakul will work. Okay. So we will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Kind of want to hold up a red source. I'm just gonna do this. trigger. K-Return and Emrakul. Do you have Consign to Memory? I guess I could have sacked those spawns, but if they consign it, then it's a moot point. Yes. Okay, so I'm glad I didn't. Alright, won't pass it back. Again on the top deck plan. And we're dead to a Bowmaster. Oh no. Oh, Jesus Christ. Jump scare much? So if I draw any extra cards, I also lose. So Null Drifter is no longer... I guess Null Drifter is an option because we have the K return. That's fine. K return. Down to 9. Draw. I mean, they know about the bog, so we'll play the bog and pass. Yikes, man. Thought Scour Self. Okay, so Frog's on the table. I need a 7-mana value spell to sweep. Come on. You got to be joking me. Just drawing nothing but bricks. Yeah, I mean, they're going to float the frog, attack in, and win. I do not have a World Breaker in yard, do I? Just want to confirm. I do not. Otherwise, that would have been a good play a long time ago. Alright, we'll concede. Rough. Rough, rough, rough. But I think I played that correctly, so I can't complain too much. Of course, our next draw is going to be... I mean, if I could draw another card, it was going to be a 7-mana value spell, because, you know, that's just how that works. Well, sometimes we win some, sometimes lose some. End of this league is 2 and 3 at the end of 5. Not the best results, not the greatest either. Rumble, once again, does make me question whether or not maybe we should move up to a 6th Talisman. Because, yeah, basically, the 2-mana slot is more or less reserved as talismans, or pseudo-talismans in the way of Rumble. Rumble also allows for some card selection, as well as enables our graveyard plan in the way of Emrakul. So the question then becomes, if, as I mentioned earlier, if Malevolent Rumble's not good in the opening hand, by trimming down on it and finding it later, is that better? Obviously, could we alternatively just have that be, I don't know, a threat? Writhing Chrysalis, another 7-mana value spell, even though we are at 11, so we see depreciating value after. Would it be better for us to do that? The alternative thought is we cut down on more Malevolent Rumbles and up on more Talismans. So that way we're still at 8 Talismans total, because with the rule of 8s, you really want to basically have, if you want to do something consistently, especially on turn 1, you want to have 8 copies of said card. We would love to be able to go Ugin's Lab, Imprint, Talisman very often, right? Because that allows us for 4 mana on 2 if we have another land, especially for Karn, which is a very impactful 4-mana spell. So the question then becomes, do we cut another Malevolent Rumble? We saw it a decent amount in the opening hand, which is not what we want. And there was actually a couple times where if a Rumble was a Talisman, then we would have actually been better off, thinking back to game 1 against Eldrazi Tron, for example. So A little bit interesting thought there. I think I might start there and cut another Rumble for another Talisman and see if that is the right choice. Alternatively, I mean, we could look at something like Ancient Stirrings, which isn't my preference, as it does cut down on that Talisman slot. So, get some food for thought. I think this league also showed that I still have some growth in the Prowess matchup where I need to kind of account for surprise cards like Mutagenic Growth and maybe be a little bit more reserved with cards like Kozilek's Command, as clearly a return was not enough to deal with the Slick Shot show off. So having the command up would have been better and would have, well, saved me from dying. But interesting stuff. Necrodominance kind of came out of nowhere. Not much else to say there, though I think a few times if a Rumble was a Talisman, we would have been better off. So things to think about. With that said, that there will end today's video. As always, if you did enjoy, please do consider hitting the like button, comment down below if you did see any lines that I missed, any mistakes that I made, or just some general feedback. It is always appreciated. For as much as I hope that you all learn from me in both my success and failure, I hope I can learn from you all as well. Last but not least, if you haven't already and have reached this point in the video, please do consider hitting the subscribe button. We're getting closer and closer to our next goal of 1,000 subscribers, where I'll be able to begin monetizing these videos. In the meantime, if you do want to support me monetarily, you can do so by subscribing over to my Patreon, where you can get early access to these videos as well as updates to my deck guides. With that being said, folks, I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye!